It's Friday afternoon, so that means it's time for an in-depth look at the market action today and for the week. And for that, I'm joined by Dr. Sei-wan, professor of economics at Ewha Women's University. Thanks for your time today, Dr. Kim.
Good afternoon, Devin.
So this week we have the huge decline in earnings at Samsung Electronics, which, for better or worse, it's a company that is an overwhelming force in the Korean equities market. Profits at Samsung down an astounding 60%, sales down too, and the other big chipmaker SK Hynix probably similar. Both of these companies a huge part of Korea's exports. So what caused this decline, and what do you see happening in the second quarter?
Well, actually, Samsung Electronics sales and profit decline has been pretty much expected from the end of last year, 2018, because there has been a increasing excess supply of memory chips and display gadgets in the international market. So, but one thing very interesting for today's equity market in South Korea is foreign investors are still purchasing SK Hynix and Samsung Electronics stocks because they have pretty positive views on Samsung's sales and profit in the future. Actually, it has been released that recently that the third largest provider of the memory chips, which is Micron from United States, decided to cut their memory chip production over 20%. So I believe that from the second quarter of this year, the excess supply of the memory chip is pretty much weakened. So that will give more momentum on Samsung's and SK Hynix business for this year.
Yeah, it sounds like investors agree with you. Shares of Samsung and SK Hynix doing okay this week.
Right.
But now Korea's exports in March, this is related, they were down 8% from a year earlier, and now there's talk about the current account falling into a deficit in April for the first time in 7 years. Is this situation turning into an export crisis?
Well, actually, I don't think so about the export crisis, because it is true that export is declining over the 4 straight months from the December of last year in South Korea, but the import is also declining faster than that of the export. So the Korean economy is still maintaining a trade surplus until now. But the main reason for declining export is pretty much related to the Samsung and SK Hynix a memory chip export decrease. And at the same time, Chinese economy is slowing down due to the trade conflict with United States. So I believe the major reason for declining export of the South Korea is indirectly and directly both related to the China and U.S. Trade conflicts, which is still going on.
Sure, yeah. We've been watching that for weeks and weeks now. And let's talk more about the U.S.-China trade talks. Reports are saying that there's a deal in the works that would get China to make several big commitments by the year 2025. What do you think's in the agreement, and what issues are they still working on?
Well, with the fact that Mr. Trump decided to meet Mr. Ryu, who is the trade negotiation representative from Chinese government on April 4th, indicates that they have a certain level of tentative agreement between the two parties. So the key issue between the two countries is the intellectual property and technological transfer between the two countries. So if China accepts these two items in trade negotiations, that will generate really structural changes in China. So that means Chinese corporations should keep all the intellectual property regulations and laws and so on. And on the Chinese government side, they are pursuing one-shot package settlement with the United States, like they will be decreasing all trade surplus with the United States down to zero until 2025. But on the U.S. side, they'd like to maintain the tariffs as a leverage on Chinese failure or keeping the agreement between the two countries. So there will be more talk and more conflicts between the two countries on getting rid of the tariffs that has been imposed to each other in the last year.
Got it. So it's not over yet. Well, we'll have to leave it there today, Dr.
Right.
Kim. Thanks for your insights today, as always.
Well, thank you very much.